I'm gonna put any card that I don't like on it, or any card that does anything at all. That's not the point of a ban list. So, what makes a Card Wars card good, and why Card Wars cards get banned? Uh, by me, Johnny Utah. There is no such thing as an OTK deck. The ban list is community made and not enforced by Cryptozoic and the makers of Card Wars in any way, shape, or form. Because if that was the case, Resonant Spellhold wouldn't exist. My Twitch. I'm gonna be uploading this to YouTube after, probably. Maybe, I don't know. I'll think about it. Um, this the game just would not be anything pretty much if not for Card Dweeb. So, thank you, Card Dweeb. Part one. Good. What does good mean in this context? Uh, Good is just the short of the criteria or set of questions I put cards through to determine whether they are playable in meta decks or not. And those questions are: how many decks can you put it in? 2, how much setup do you need for it? 3, what does it do? What is it capable of? Or in other words, how exploitable is it? And 4, how much does it cost? And these are 4 cards that will be used for reference. Is Void Thimble good? Void Thimble is a 0-cost rainbow spell card. The effect of lose 2 hit points, gain 1 action. At the start of your turn in Card Wars, you only get 2 actions. You have 25 life. So getting an extra action basically lets you play the game just a bit more. How many decks can you put it in? All of them. How much setup do you need for it? None. The reason you can put it in all decks is because it's a rainbow spell card that costs 0. That means there is no limit to what deck you could put it in. There is no setup for it. Most decks want to start off their turn by playing Void Thimble. Unless they're running like something like Dr. Pyclops, then they'll play Dr. Pyclops and then they'll use their Void Thimble. Uh, 3. What does it do? What is it capable of? This gives you an action. You need to pay 2 HP. It's a very useful effect, but outside of that, it doesn't really do anything else. It just makes your turn a bit stronger. It doesn't cost anything. Because losing 2 life doesn't really mean much. Is Void Thimble good? B. Absolutely. Has the strongest possible effect in the game because it skirts around the game's resource system. Actions. Paying 2 hit points is a wholly negligible downside. Any deck that can run this card will run this card, and every deck can run this card. That means every deck wants to run this card. But should it be banned? It's a little spoiler there. No, I don't believe that it should be banned. Is Nice Windmill good? Nice Windmill is a 1-cost Nice Lands building with the effect pay 1 action to heal or deal up to 2 damage to your creature in this lane. Yep, I mean, it was written on the box. How many decks can you put it in? Only decks with at least 1 Nice Lands landscape with an emphasis on healing and dealing. How much setup do you need for it? You need an action to play it and an action to use its ability. You need a creature in its landscape that cares about having damage on it, or a creature that cares about having a specific amount of health, which is most Nice Lands cards. What does it do, and what is it capable of? It either heals or deals up to 2 damage to a creature that you control in the same lane as it. It's really expensive and really conditional, and it has a minimal impact on the game, especially for its price. It isn't capable of much at all due to how weak that effect is. How much does it cost? 3 arms and a leg. 2 actions is the highest cost something can have without having like a way to reduce its own cost. I think I talk about that in the next slide. Is Nice Windmill good? No, not really. Not at all. This card is pretty dog shit. The card is just horrible. It's a strictly worse version of Pillow Fortress, and that card sucks. It costs 2 actions to play it and use its effect on the same turn. See, I'll talk about it right here, which is the steepest cost outside of cards that reduce their own cost and cards with additional costs, assuming you already have a creature in that lane. Even after going through all that effort, all you get is just 2 ping or 2 healing. The pig is a stronger card. Should it be banned? Impossible Possum. Is it good? It's a 2 cost blue plains creature. It's got 2 attack and 8 defense, and my dog is going crazy right now. When this, referring to Impossible Possum, goes into your discard pile, you can discard a card to return it to your hand. And I'll get into it. I mean, that's the point of this. How many decks do you need to put it in? You can technically put Impossible Possum in any deck because you never actually want to play the card. Even though it's a 2-cost blue plains card, you're never playing Impossible Possum because it sucks. How much setup do you need for it? You need 2 copies of it in your hand and a way to send one of them to the discard pile. Either BMO, Dog Boy, Glorious Gramophone, just it doesn't matter. It could be literally anything. Optionally, you run something that cares about how many things hit the discard pile or a card that wants to be in the discard. What does it do? What is it capable of? Capable of a lot. It creates infinite discards immediately after hitting the discard pile. It's capable of drawing your entire deck when you pair it with Tailgater and discarding your Abnegators. Infinite damage when paired with Black Paladin. I mean, it can do a lot. Anything that cares about how many things go into the graveyard or discarding anything, Impossible Possum is probably a pretty decent card to be running. And how much does it cost? Nothing. The cost would be discarding that card. However, if you have 2 of them, then it just goes infinite with itself, causing the cost to be nothing at all. Is it good? Extremely. But it's highly reliant on there being 2 copies of a minimum. Otherwise, the infinite falls apart and it just doesn't go infinite. To get any real benefit from it, you also need to be playing Black Paladin and have it in play, or have a Tailgater in your hand. And Tailgater's banned. It does nothing but be an overpriced vanilla body while in play, and 2 attack is not threatening. So there's no reason to dedicate resources to removing it. I mean, on the battlefield or in play, it just doesn't do anything. It's a nothing card. It's a nothing burger. So should it be banned? And now on to Grand Prix. Grand Prix is a hero card. Once during your turn, you put a creature you play this turn back into your hand, then play for free and put 3 damage on it. Grand Prix, very good. You can technically, well, not technically, you can put him in every deck because he's a hero card. There's no restriction to what landscape types or costs or anything like that for your heroes. You can put any hero in any deck. How much setup do you need for it? You need a creature that has an enters play effect, or leaves play effect, or floop effect. In other words, pretty much all of them. That's damn near everything. What does it do? What is it capable of? A lot. He returns a creature to your hand, plays it for free, but puts 3 damage on it. That means creatures need 4 minimum defense to survive, but that isn't necessary depending on the effect being triggered or activated. He is capable of doubling almost any and every creature effect that you could ever need. Anything good. And it doesn't cost anything. It's completely free to do this. Once a return. As long as you're playing a creature, you can bounce it, you play it again. Is it good? Yeah. You didn't need me to tell you that. Here's an alignment chart that I made. Uh, exploitable and good is Grand Prix. Grand Prix is extremely powerful. You can put him in any deck, and any deck will benefit from running Grand Prix over everything else, pretty much. I can't think of an example where you would rather be running anything but Grand Prix, or any deck that benefits from not running Grand Prix. Um, yeah, Grand Prix is just extremely powerful. Void Thimble is not exploitable. Not on its own, at least. And it's a good card. I think it's a well-designed card. It's powerful enough to see play, but it's not the meat and potatoes of a deck. Uh, Impossible Possum is exploitable and bad. The card literally sucks, but because it goes infinite with itself, and it's a useful infinite, means that it needs to be limited to one copy, lest it just completely overtake everything. And Nice Windmill is not exploitable and it's bad. It does not have any potential to be playable ever. This is the good design category right here. Part 2. The purpose of banning / limiting. All cards get banned or limited for unique reasons on a case-by-case basis. Some common reasons are 1. Being too good. Platypus kills people too quickly for just playing the game. Grand Prix is, broken for all listed reasons. Royal Prosperity. If you can kill somebody in one turn, it doesn't matter if you're giving them cards because there's no form of interaction between players. It's not like there's a stack or chain link from Yu-Gi-Oh! You can't activate your effects or anything from your hand on your opponent's turn. So, yeah. In other games, this wouldn't be that good of a card. It might see play, but not in this game. 2. Being easily exploitable by infinite combos. Gray Eyebat goes infinite with, let me read it again. Return a random, use a swamp creature from your hand. Yeah, it goes infinite with Abnegator and anything to return it. I forgot exactly how the infinite works, but it does go infinite and it gives you infinite actions. And infinite actions means infinite draws and infinite playing the game and infinite winning on your turn and not letting the opponent play. So it's banned. Just straight up banned because this isn't a card that goes infinite by itself and does nothing else. It's a card where even a single copy can be broken and is broken. Impossible Possum is limited to one copy because if you have 2 copies, then the card is busted. Just objectively busted. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it because there's no way to have Impossible Possum not be a broken card when it just goes infinite with itself. And the crazy part is 3 words, just 3 words, would be enough to make Impossible Possum just completely unlimited and unplayable. And that's either once per turn or except Impossible Possum. That's besides the point. And Wake Up Call goes infinite with a bunch of stuff, actually. Just readying all of your creatures. It can give you infinite actions. Just infinite draws. Yeah, it's busted and it can't come off the list. 3. Preventing players from playing. Golden Axe Stump makes your opponent take 1 damage whenever they draw a card. A lot of this game is drawing cards because it's like inherently slow. So if you want to be able to play the game, you're gonna be drawing cards. It's very hard to play around it, and it forces you to run something to just kill it, or pray that you get something to kill it off the rip. I think it's very strong. I don't know about bannable, you know. I think at 1 copy, it's fine. Because once you get to 3 copies, then they're taking 3 tick for every card they draw. And it's not like it goes both ways. It's only your opponent. Anyway, Pentacutie. Opponents can't play 0 cost cards. This card is broken. 0 cost cards are the most important part of your deck. They're basically what ties your deck together. In most good decks, it is the bulk of the cards that you're running. So just preventing your opponent from doing that means they basically lose unless they draw their removal in the first like 6 cards of the turn. Or I guess 7 if you decide to spend an action to draw, or use like a Gnome Snot to draw cards. And Ghost Ninja just straight up prevents your opponent from playing spells if he attacks them and deals damage to them. I think Ghost Ninja, this is just my opinion, but it's a pretty objectively good opinion. That was an oxymoron. Anyway, Ghost Ninja is broken. He just shuts down two thirds, if not more, of your opponent's decks. It's not a fun card. It's not a fair card. Nobody likes fighting it, and nobody likes using it. So, yeah. 4. Over encompassing the meta. Drop Zone is Grand Prix, but like diet, and you can use it multiple times a turn. Um, this card was practically in every deck because you could just do that with things that give you actions. So like Fummy, you just drop zone your Fummy, gain an action, and then bring it back to your hand. And that's a sandwich trigger. Family Gathering. It's basically just like drawing 4 cards, I think, right? Choose another player in a landscape you control. Draw a card for each of their creatures that match that landscape type. Excuse me. This card was ran in every single deck. It was extremely powerful. I think it might be able to come off the list. Just have 1 copy. Because it's good for decks that are going second. But yeah, at the time this card was super busted. And Tailgater will always be busted. Tailgater is when it enters play, draw a card for each creature placed into your discard pile that turn. That's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. You just play the Lich, and then you at minimum draw a card and gain an action, which is like just crazy. And there's way more broken things you can do with Tailgater. It's just a stupid card. You can draw your entire deck with 1 activation of Tailgater. It's just stupid. 5. I have no fucking idea. These are cards that are just not good enough, in my opinion, to validate them being limited as harshly as they are. I think Sandwich is limited to 1. This card is awful. Whenever it or another creature enters play under your control, deal 1 damage to your opponent. That's horrible. There's not decks that can do 25 repetitions. And it costs an action, so 25 repetitions of creatures is just not a thing that decks can do. So, Subliminal Strength. Target creature you control has +2 attack for each spell you play this turn. This card doesn't make any sense to be at 1 copy or banned, because it doesn't give you it is a good card, don't get me wrong. It is a powerful card. But it doesn't give you, okay, it's the cherry on top, but it doesn't bring you to that cherry. Or it doesn't bring you to the point where you need a cherry. So it's just a brick in your hand if you draw it. Especially if you run multiple copies. You just I mean, you never really want to have more than 1 of these. It's rough. It's a hard card to use, but if you can use it, then you'll excel. Cute Overload, while it is a powerful card, Tailgater's banned, so it doesn't matter if you put things into the graveyard or discard pile. You can destroy any number of creatures and draw a card for each creature destroyed that way. I mean, that's only good in decks that are running a lot of zero cost creatures. And zero cost creatures tend to be garbage. The only good ones I can think of are just Happy Ghost Lucky and the Goat. Like everything else sucks. So that's from memory though. Don't quote me on that. Yeah. While on paper, being able to draw 4 cards is good. You're never usually drawing 4 cards. It is probably better after you pass the turn than the first turn. And the thing about Card Wars, your first turn needs to either win you the game or set up your win. It's pretty important. You can't be relying on shit that'll be good on the second turn. Heavenly Gazer. You can floop it to put a spell from your discard pile on top of your deck. It doesn't even put the spell into your hand, and it's a floop effect. Floop effects are inherently slow because you cannot activate floop effects or attack on your first turn. That means Heavenly Gazer isn't good, and it shouldn't be banned. It shouldn't be restricted at all. But that was just my opinion on all these cards. You know, they all have their reasons, and they're all somewhat understandable, except for these ones. Limiting instead of banning. Limiting cards is used as either a way to prevent infinite combos, reduce consistency of a combo or individual effect, and reduce a combo's power, or any combination of these reasons. Some cards are good. What? Some cards are good, are too good. Okay, sorry. Some cards are too good to remain at full consistency of drawing because of their individual effect. You could tell I worked on this part at like 4 a.m. and didn't sleep. Some cards aren't powerful enough to ban, but cause infinite combos with multiple copies of itself. In instances like those, the card is just limited to one. Banning instead of limiting. It's usually a last resort. Like I said, case by case basis. Some cards just synergize too well with too many cards. And instead of banning all those cards, you just ban the card that synergizes with all of them, like Drop Zone, like Grand Prix. Some cards create infinites with just one copy. Why is banning a last resort option? Once a card is banned, you can no longer gather data on it. This means it is much harder for things to come off of the list after getting banned than getting put onto the list. The less cards on the list, it's the simpler for the community as a whole, and the more cards available for players to use. The purpose of banning or limiting is to create meta diversity. Think about a game's meta as an ecosystem. There will always be an apex predator. That apex predator outcompetes all other life and takes over its ecosystem. There will be no life for the apex predator, and it will rapidly die out. A diverse and varied meta will always be the most fun for players. Always, always. This is a constant across all games of all genres. Nobody's trying to play the same strategy every time. That shit is boring as fuck. Nobody's trying to fight the same strategy. That's why ban lists exist. That's why nerfs and buffs exist in other games. To vary the meta, to make it diverse. Back before I get into the afterwards, it's important to have a diverse meta because there's so many cards in this game. It would be a shame to just see the same strategy over and over again. And while it is true that you can't just run whatever you want and expect to win, you can at least try to lower the ceiling of the game to introduce more unique cards into the meta. Afterwards, follow me on Twitch. I could genuinely not care less if things are off center. I'm better at the game than you. It means you should listen to me and take what I say as an objective truth, of course. It took like 3 days to make. Most importantly, thank you for listening to my Yav session. And Scott sucks. Oh my god, are you kidding me? That whole fuck. That whole time I was just on the just chatting screen. Oh god, I gotta redo that. How long was this? 28 minutes? Alright, that's fine. I'm leaving this VOD up because I'm an idiot. And this needs to be documented. Jesus Christ.